Hi, it's Steve. Today we'd like to show you how to change the vacuum breaker on your washer. It's a really easy job. Let me show you how we do it. Now before we begin this repair, the first thing we'll need to do is to disconnect power to the washer. So either pull it far enough forward that you can unplug it, or locate the electrical panel, turn off the appropriate breaker, or remove the appropriate fuse. And once we've done that, we will pull it slightly forward and then we can begin the repair. Now if you have this style of washer that has removable end caps, you'll need to remove those first. So take a stiff putty knife and just insert that at the very top at the back of that end cap. Just pry up gently on it to release the tab. Tilt it forward, releasing the tabs on the side and the one on the bottom. And just remove it and set it aside. Then we'll do the same on the opposite side. Now with the end caps removed, that will expose a Phillips screw down in each corner. We'll need to remove those next. Then we'll just grasp either end of that console, pull it slightly forward, and then tilt it back and up out of the way. Now next we'll need to remove the cabinet from the back panel. So to do that, we're first of all going to disconnect the lid switch harness connector. Just lift up on the locking tab and separate the connector. Now next we'll remove the two spring clips that secure that back panel to the cabinet. So take a large flat blade screwdriver, go down through that front opening until that screwdriver bottoms out in that clip. Pry it slightly forward and lift it out of the hole. What we're doing to remove that clip is we're sliding that screwdriver down into the front portion of that spring clip, prying it forward, which releases this portion of the clip from the top of the cabinet. That allows it to pop up out of there and we can remove it. So now we'll do the same on the opposite side. We'll set those two clips aside. Now with the lid switch disconnected, our clips removed, we're next going to lift up on the back edge of that cabinet, tilt it slightly up, and pull the whole cabinet away from the washer base. Once we've tilted that up a little bit, grasp either side, and then just pull it away from the washer frame and set that cabinet aside. Now next we'll remove this clamp that secures the inlet from the fill valve to that siphon brake. So taking a pair of pliers, we're just going to depress that spring clamp, slide it back on the hose a ways. Now to remove the siphon brake from the back panel, we'll take a pair of needle nose pliers and we'll just come up from the bottom and grasp the side of that siphon brake. And then we're going to pry the bottom edge of it towards the outside edge of that back panel. Just flex it over to the outside and pull down on it to release the hook from the top. We'll repeat that procedure for the opposite side. And then remove and discard the old one. Now to install the new one, we'll just fit one edge of those clips into that opening. Slide the top end in first, making sure that we slip the cabinet into that little groove. And flex it to the outside edge. And then make sure that we press that firmly up against the back panel and then lock it into place. Next we'll reconnect the hose from the fill valve, press it firmly onto the nipple on that siphon brake, and then we'll reposition the clamp. Now, when reinstalling the cabinet to this style of washer, we want to first of all make sure that the lip at the front portion of that cabinet slides in underneath the cross member on the base frame of the washer. The sides of that cabinet will sit on top of the base frame. So if we open up the lid while we're positioning that cabinet, we'll be able to see that front lip sliding in underneath the cross member and the sides of the cabinet sitting down on top of it. Position it evenly side to side. Make sure that lip's under the cross member. We'll just tilt that cabinet back. We'll also have to pull the back panel forward to make sure that that water injector or siphon brake goes in underneath the top. Make sure it's equal side to side. And then we'll want to verify that the sides of the cabinet sit down flush on that base frame and that the little slots in the back are engaged and allowing it to lock itself in place. Check both sides, make sure that they are tight at the back. And then your back panel should line up with the clips and the openings in the top. Now we're ready to install the mounting clips. So we'll take the hook portion of that clip and fit it into the slot on the back panel. Push that back panel forward. Make sure the clip lines up with the two openings on the top. Then simply press it down into place until it locks. Do the same on the opposite side. Making sure that the right angled end of that spring clip engages the back panel. Line it up with the openings in the top and snap it into place. Next, we'll want to reconnect that lid switch harness connector. Press it firmly into place, making sure the locking tab engages. Now with the cabinet secure to the back panel, our lid switch connected, we're now ready to rotate the control panel into position. We want to make sure that we engage the back panel inside the top lip of that control panel. And as we rotate it forward, we're going to line up these hooks or feet on the end caps with the respective holes in the main top. So make sure the back panel is engaged first. We'll line up those feet. And then we're ready to push those down into place. Make sure they're both lined up. Rotate it forward until it sits flush. Push it back, make sure it's hooked in place. And then we'll secure it with the two mounting screws. These screws go in on about a 45-degree angle. Then we'll take the end caps, and we're going to make sure that we start with hooking the bottom clip into that slotted opening just in front of the mounting screw. So make sure that's engaged first, then line up the two tabs on the side as we push the end cap back into place, then snap the top in, and it's secure. We'll do the same for the opposite side. Again, we'll start by lining up the bottom first, and two side ones, and snap it into place. And now we can prepare the washer to be put back into position. We're now ready to push the washer back into position, reconnect the power, and your repair is complete.